What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to go over why Churchill Capital stock could be a good buy right now, even though technically they shouldn't be. And I also might touch on when a potential merger could happen between Churchill and Lucid Motors. But before we actually jump into the content, for those of you who are new here, my name is Evan, and I make videos showing you guys different ways to make money in the stock market. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Also, while you guys are down there, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it, and it lets me know that you guys enjoy these video updates every day. So again, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it. Now, with that out of the way, taking a look at Churchill Capital's stock price today, they're actually down 2.2% and they're trading right above $32 as of right now. Now, you can't really see the movement that they've been having when we look at just the 1-day chart. So if I actually pull up the 1-week chart here, you can see more exaggerated on how Churchill Capital has been moving. Now they're actually still up 4% on the week at 4.3%, but you can see actually last week Churchill was up 14% at $35. And since that time on February 5th, they've actually been pulling back, and you can see they're kind of consolidating around $32 or so. Now I don't know how long this consolidation is going to last, and I don't know if Churchill is going to pull back or if they're going to continue going back up. But especially when we look at the 1-month chart, you can see that they've been consistently going up. Now they have had a few pullbacks that you can see, but each time they recovered and even increased more than the previous pullback. But this maybe leads people to wonder if Churchill Capital is still a good stock to buy, even though technically they shouldn't be. And fundamentally, Churchill Capital stock doesn't really make any sense. But in the market that we're trading in right now, there's definitely a bull case for any stock that's going up, at least as of right now. Now, just in the last month, Churchill Capital has more than tripled. And fundamentally, this rally doesn't make any sense because there's no confirmation that this SPAC is going to merge with Lucid Motors. And if you guys don't know what a SPAC is, it's a special purpose acquisition company, and they basically aim to bring a company public, and they do this through raising capital, and this allows a private company just like Lucid Motors to become public and to have capital to start out with. But the big reason why there's a lot of people going after Churchill Capital and buying up so many shares is because Lucid Motors actually was founded by Peter Rawlinson. And for those who don't know who he is, he was actually a former engineer that worked at Tesla. So that alone has been enough to send investors racing to grab a piece of Churchill Capital because they're hoping that Churchill is going to merge with Lucid Motors at some point in the near future. Now, I do want to start off by saying that this merger isn't guaranteed and it's not necessarily going to happen. So if you guys are planning on investing in Churchill Capital, make sure you guys do so at your own risk and look into Churchill and look into Lucid and make sure these are companies that you'd be okay holding potentially for a while, especially if there's no merger in the foreseeable future. But one thing I think a lot of investors are starting to realize is that even if a merger does go through and Lucid does merge with Churchill Capital, there's no guarantee on what the terms are going to be, and we don't know necessarily how the stock is going to react once that merger happens. It could definitely vary a lot depending on the percentage of Lucid that Churchill shareholders end up owning. But with the growth that we've seen so far, it's basically just been on rumors alone, and Churchill's price has tripled, again, just on those rumors. And a lot of these people investing in Churchill are just people who want to get their hands on every electric vehicle stock out there. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing because the electric vehicle market has made a lot of people very wealthy, and the entire sector has seen a huge explosion in 2020, and now it's starting off 2021 on a very strong note as well. But to give you guys a little context of what's been happening with Churchill Capital, their stock rally began on January 11th, and they closed the previous day at $10.03. And then Bloomberg reported on a potential merger between Churchill and Lucid, and then Churchill rallied 31% that day, and then 83% total over 5 trading sessions. And even though there's been a couple pullbacks like I showed you on the 1-month chart, it's pretty much continued going higher and higher. And I think we're finally starting to see some consolidation because investors are not only taking profits, but they're realizing that this stock can't continue going up with no guarantee of a merger in the future. But we're going to touch on the merger and why I personally think that it's very likely to happen. Now again, it's not guaranteed, but there are a few things leading me to believe that a merger is likely going to happen. Now one of those major things is that Lucid is already expecting to go public soon, and whether that happens through Churchill Capital, it's totally up to Lucid, but they're already hiring 4 positions including a director of investor relations. And then Churchill themselves on January 19th issued what looks like a non-denial denial of the rumors. And then Rawlinson also told Forbes that a year makes a huge difference. And then in a recent interview, Rawlinson said he could neither confirm or deny the talks about Lucid going public and merging with Churchill Capital. Now that happened last week, and that led their price to go up quite a substantial amount just last week alone. And a lot of that was leading up to last Friday, when a lot of people thought a potential merger could be announced. Now, of course, that didn't happen, and a lot of people are putting out these different dates, and one of those other dates is actually next Monday. Now, of course, this isn't set in stone, and this is just a rumor at this point, but there are quite a few people thinking that Merger Monday is a thing, and people continue looking forward to each Monday, which is the most likely day of the week when a merger would be announced. Now, for those of you who don't know, Churchill Capital has actually had talks of merging with other companies in the past. And the reason why it's such a big deal that they could potentially merge with Lucid is because they've raised so much money and they have such a high market cap as compared to other SPACs out there. But actually last summer, there was speculation that they might merge with golf entertainment provider Topgolf. This caused their stock to move nearly $12, but then the deal was never materialized and then they were back down to near $10. So the risk is a lot higher right now with Churchill trading at about $32, and this is suggesting that a far larger decline could happen if a deal isn't made with Lucid. And I think that's pretty obvious considering the times we're in right now and looking at where the EV sector has gone. If people are expecting this SPAC to merge with an electric vehicle company, and there's been so much hype around it right now, well, if you take out the electric vehicle part of it, Churchill is probably going to drop all the way back down to where they were previous to talks about a merger happening. And actually this rally that we've been seeing from Churchill has created a bit of a potential problem for this deal. Churchill's negotiating position has been significantly weakened, and they absolutely have to get a deal done at this point. And they would basically accept any terms from Lucid, otherwise their stock is just going to plunge and people are going to take all their money out of Churchill's stock. But like I mentioned not too long ago, Churchill Capital is one of the largest SPACs out there, and they have over $1 billion in capital. But even with that capital, current holders of their stock are going to wind up with a minority of the combined company. And the reason why I say this is because it's difficult to imagine that Lucid is going to accept a valuation of anything below $2 billion. And you could argue against this because they don't even have vehicles on the road. But look just where NIO has gone. They're currently number 3 in top auto manufacturers, and they've really only been producing a significant amount of vehicles in the last year. And they also have a market cap of near $100 billion. So for Lucid to go with a valuation of $2 billion or more, it's not crazy to think that that's probably what's going to happen. And so it does kind of put Churchill in a sticky situation because they have to accept some kind of deal, otherwise their stock will plummet. So I think we can all agree that Lucid is going to go public at some point, and however they end up choosing to go public, it's going to be at a very big valuation. But the value of Churchill stock, assuming a Churchill and Lucid tie-up happens, is based precisely on what that valuation is. So it's impossible to know right now, meaning there's a risk that Churchill plunges if the terms of the deal aren't quite as good as the 200% rally we've seen suggests. Now, of course, we can argue that SPACs and EV stocks haven't really been following fundamentals, and that's why we've seen such a huge increase from Churchill's stock price. But specifically looking at the last month or so, we've actually seen quite a few of these electric vehicle stocks start to level out, and they're not seeing these insane gains like we saw over the past year. But with Rawlinson's association with Tesla, and how he actually worked as an engineer at Tesla, and also Lucid's plan to basically mimic Tesla's strategy, I wouldn't be surprised to see Lucid's stock price once they go public to have a very similar trend as Tesla. Now, of course, that's not based on any fundamentals or any technical analysis, because we really can't do that, mostly given the fact that Lucid doesn't have any vehicles on the road as of right now. Now, they are planning to release vehicles at some point in spring of this year, and I believe they're going to have 3 options for their Lucid Air, and they're all going to release at some point in 2021. Now, their basic Air, which I believe is going to cost about $79,000, is going to be released next year in 2022. But given how big the electric vehicle landscape has gotten, I think a lot of investors just want to get a piece of any company Whether they manufacture vehicles, batteries, supplies, or charging stations, people want to get in on this electric vehicle space before it's too big and before it's too late to get in. So while Churchill could be a pretty risky investment right now, given what we went over and how Churchill actually has to make a deal at some point, or they basically lose all these investors that have been looking into their stock, I would bet that there's a pretty good likelihood that they're probably going to merge with Lucid. Now, I don't want to say this is confirmed, and I don't want to say it's 100% guaranteed, but at least in my opinion, I think that there's a good likelihood that it would happen. But I want to hear what you guys think down in the comments, and whether you think a merger is going to happen between Lucid Motors and Churchill Capital, and if so, when do you think it's going to happen? Now, personally, I don't really have a date in mind, and I think if it were going to happen, it's probably going to happen in the next couple months, given the fact that Lucid wants to release some vehicles in the spring of 2021. So again, let me know down in the comments what you guys think is going to happen between Lucid and Churchill. Also, if you guys haven't signed up for Webull, make sure you guys sign up using the link in the description. And when you sign up and deposit $100, you'll get 2 free stocks. And if you guys want to join the Discord and learn more about investing, especially if you're new to investing, feel free to join using the link in the description, or I'm also going to pin the top comment down in the comment section. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.